Hello YouTube. I thought I'd talk a little bit about enjoying wild teas. I don't profess to be an expert on wild teas, but I do have a couple that I like to look for and gather and enjoy. And one of these is Yerba Buena, which grows out here in California along the sides of trails. It grows in these long vines, and it has a very nice minty smell to it, and it's a healthy tea. It has a lot of different health uses, and I'll put a link in the comments in case you're inclined to look that up. But you can certainly look around in your own local area and find instructors or guidebooks that talk about your native plants and their uses and what's medicinal and what is just merely an enjoyable tea. The other day I had the experience of picking some California bay laurel and making that into a tea. Now that tea is recommended medicinally for sore throats and colds, and I was completely well when I took it. And I'll tell you what, that was a big mistake because it was very irritating to my throat. I think it might have been, had I had a sore throat, it might have been an antiseptic to it and would have had a good effect. Another time, big mistake I made, you can use bay laurel to clear your sinuses if you're congested. And I made the mistake of putting a bay laurel leaf crushed in my nostril when I was perfectly fine, and I had a headache for an hour. So the point I'm trying to make is read carefully any guidebooks or get good instruction, and then make sure you understand what the use of that plant is as a tea, whether it's just merely a nice beverage to drink or if it has a medicinal use and if it's just meant to be used medicinally. Now, talking about nice teas to drink, my friend Mike the Bear gave me a jar full of really nice rose petals and dried, and this makes a really wonderful tea, which I've been enjoying. So how do I do it? Well, what I like to use is I like to use a coffee filter. I just get a coffee filter, okay, and then I'll show you. What I'll do is I'll take my leaves that I gather. I would pluck the leaves off of this vine, and I have a bag here which I have gathered of leaves. I like to use a paper bag when I'm out on the trail to gather medicinals or leaves for tea, because it breathes and it won't get sweaty and ruin the leaves. So put this in the frame here. What I've done is I've poured a quantity of the leaves into the tea bag, or well, what is going to be my tea bag. It's a coffee filter. Now I would rinse these first just to make sure that because animals pee on the side of the trail, and so their biology could be on the leaves that you're going to make into a tea, so rinse them off first. And then I would fold this, okay, fold it over a couple times and fold the ends in, okay. And now I have a field expedient tea bag. And then what I like to do is take either a piece of kite string or a piece of stripped paracord and bind the bag, put a little knot in it. See if I can do this in frame so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I got fat fingers today. There we go. So then I now have my coffee filter tea bag from my natural tea, and then what I would do is steep a cup of hot water Now generally most of the guides you see talk about using a tablespoon of leaves. So again, read your guides or seek professional wildcrafting instruction so that you get the dosing right. You can always add more to make a stronger tea, and I have done that. But sometimes it can be ridiculously strong, so you want to be careful. So usually what I'll do is about a tablespoon of leaves, and then boil a cup of hot water. I won't boil the leaves in the hot water, but I will immerse them in the scalded water and then just let them steep for a while. Now, interestingly, this leaf here, this yerba buena, does not make for a does not make a colorful tea. It doesn't turn green, at least not in my experience. It's quite clear, but it is still quite good. So even though it doesn't look like there's anything in there, there is. It's quite tasty. Now this is some rose petal tea I made earlier today, and this turns quite dark, as you can see in here. Okay, plus I made it quite strong because I wanted a strong tea. So that's just kind of a quick thing about that. And you'll need a spoon if you want to put honey. I've got my little hobo tool here, which it broke the rivets, so I had to make a dog collar to hold the pieces together. Alright, so if I can get it apart here. There we go. Alright, so then I would add maybe a teaspoon of honey to this to give it a little bit of sweetness. And I suppose you could use sugar. I think honey's better myself, but I think if you'll go out and do a little study and a little experimenting and see what native plants are in your area and what can be made into teas, I think you'll really enjoy it if you get into wildcrafting a little bit. And something else I wanted to just touch on real quickly, not related to wildcrafting or wild teas, but I just picked up a copy of this Backwoods Survival Guide magazine, and I am really impressed. This has a lot of wonderful articles. I really am enjoying this magazine. It's got some really good stuff in here. Here's a really great article on field maintenance of blades. I think a lot of people don't think about caring for their blades in the field, how to sharpen them, and I've touched on that before. There's articles on planting, preserving the foods that you make, harvesting, survival planning. Hey, I'll tell you what, I'm really enjoying this, and I think I'm going to subscribe because I don't think I want to miss an article. So it's a Backwoods Survival Guide. It's, practical advice for the simple life. Some really good skills and information in there. Here's a nice article on do-it-yourself projects, making a little belt pouch survival kit, which would be handy for the trail. Or in the current situation, you might need a little sear kit if you drove into some civil unrest and were dragged from your car and had to run for it. Having a little belt kit with a few things to get you through the night till you could get to safety might be a very useful thing. So, not getting anything from this. I don't know these guys, but I do know that I like this magazine, so I thought I'd just share that. So there you have it. Making wild teas, how I do it, and so get out there and give it a whirl. We'll talk to you a little later.